Naya Voss used to believe that love was the safest place to rest your heart. Not because life was gentle, life had never been gentle, but because love, she thought, was supposed to be the one thing that stayed. The one thing that didn't shift when bills piled up, when families argued, when dreams took too long. And when she met Cairo Wren, she thought, finally, here is my steady. They met on a rainy afternoon that smelled like wet asphalt and roasted coffee. Naya had rushed into a small cafe to escape the downpour, shaking water from her hair and laughing at herself as she searched for a napkin. Cairo had been at the counter, sleeves rolled to his elbows, holding a paper cup as if he was trying to warm his hands from the inside. You look like you fought the rain and lost, he said, smiling like he'd known her for years. Naya glanced up, startled, then laughed. The rain cheated. It always does, he replied, stepping aside to let her order. What do you drink when life attacks? Anything with sugar, she said. Same, he said, and when she turned to look again, he was already paying for 2 drinks like it was the most natural thing in the world. She should have refused. Naya was the type to count every kindness, to measure it and return it quickly, so she wouldn't owe anyone. But something about his face, open, calm, confident, made her accept. They ended up sharing a tiny table by the window, watching people run past with umbrellas turned inside out. I'm Cairo, he said, offering his hand. Naya. He repeated her name slowly, like he was tasting it. Naya. Sounds like a soft song. She rolled her eyes. Don't start. I'm not starting, he said, leaning back. I'm appreciating. That was how it began, small, ordinary, and somehow unforgettable. Cairo had a laugh that filled rooms. He talked with his hands, told stories as if he was painting pictures in the air. He had goals, big ones. He was building a creative agency, hungry to prove himself, always thinking about the next step. Naya admired his fire, the way he refused to settle for half-living. She was a junior architect with a tired smile and a careful heart, someone who knew how to dream quietly because loud dreams got mocked in her childhood home. With Cairo, she started to dream out loud. They spent evenings walking under streetlights, sharing headphones, splitting fried snacks from roadside stalls like it was luxury. He learned her favorite songs and pretended to hate them just to see her defend them. She learned his habits, how he tapped his finger when he was nervous, how he stared at nothing when he was thinking, how he became gentle when he spoke about his mother. When he finally kissed her, it wasn't rushed. They were standing outside her apartment building, the night warm and humming with distant traffic. Naya had been telling him about her day, how her boss dismissed her idea in a meeting, how she felt invisible. Cairo didn't try to fix it. He just listened, eyes steady. You're not invisible, he said. Naya swallowed. It feels like I am. He stepped closer, careful like he was approaching something fragile. Then I'll be your reminder. His hands cupped her face, thumbs near her jaw, and when he kissed her, it was soft at first, then certain. Naya felt something in her chest loosen, like a knot she didn't realize she'd been carrying. In the months that followed, they became a pair in a way that felt easy. He'd come over and cook badly, then laugh at himself when the food burned. She'd sit on the kitchen counter and tease him, then end up taking over while he hugged her from behind, chin on her shoulder. You're stealing my role, he would complain. You're saving the kitchen, she'd reply. He called her my calm. She called him my chaos. Together, they felt balanced. But love, Naya learned, can start as a shelter and still become a storm. It happened slowly, so slowly that she blamed herself for noticing. It started with missed calls. Cairo would text late. Sorry, meeting ran long. I'll explain later. Then later became another day. Another week. Then there were the sudden silences when she mentioned the future. I was thinking, she said one Sunday morning, tracing circles on his palm as they lay in bed. Maybe next year we could move into a bigger place. Somewhere with light. A balcony. Cairo's jaw tightened, almost too fast to catch. Next year is far. Far. Naya frowned. It's just next year. He sat up, rubbing his face. Naya, I'm trying to build something. I can't think about balconies right now. Okay, she said carefully, but we can build while still having plans. He looked at her like she'd asked him to lift a mountain. Why do you always want to lock things down? That sentence stung. Always. Naya had been patient, supportive, careful. She had celebrated his wins like they were hers. She'd listened to his frustrations. She'd even lent him money once when a client delayed payment and his rent was due. She never made him feel small for it. She never told anyone. Lock things down, she repeated softly. I'm just talking about us. Cairo sighed. I know. I don't like pressure. Naya wanted to say, love isn't supposed to feel like pressure. But she swallowed it and smiled because she loved him, and love made her gentle even when she should have been firm. And so she waited. She waited through his busy seasons, through the constant phone calls, through the way he started turning his screen away when messages popped up. She waited through his quick temper and quicker apologies. You know I love you, he'd say, pulling her close. I know, she'd reply, trying to believe it. But love doesn't just live in words. It lives in patterns. One evening, Naya stood by her window with her phone pressed to her ear. Cairo had promised he'd come over. She'd cooked a full meal, rice, stew, grilled chicken, because she knew he liked to eat after long workdays. She lit a small candle and cleaned the apartment like it was a celebration. When he didn't show up, she called him. No answer. She texted. Are you okay? Nothing. By midnight, her candle had melted into a puddle and her food sat untouched. Naya stared at the clock like it was personally insulting her. At 1:13 a.m., her phone buzzed. Cairo, sorry. I fell asleep at the office. Naya stared at the message, then typed. Without telling me? I've been worried all night. He replied almost immediately. Naya, don't make this a big thing. I'm tired. She felt something shift inside her, something sharp. Still, she wrote. I'm not trying to fight. I just needed a heads up. Cairo, I said sorry. What else do you want? Naya's fingers hovered. She wanted to say, I want you to care that I care. But she didn't. She put the phone down and walked to the kitchen, where her meal looked like a sad mistake. That night, she cried quietly so her neighbors wouldn't hear. She cried for the effort she poured into love, and for the way it seemed to spill through cracks. Weeks later came the first real fracture. It was a Saturday afternoon. Naya had asked Cairo to come with her to a small family event. Nothing big, just her aunt's birthday lunch. She didn't like going alone. Her family could be warm, but they could also be sharp, and having Cairo there always made her feel safe. He agreed. Of course, he said. I'll be there. At noon, she dressed in a soft blue outfit, simple and neat. She did her hair carefully, wore earrings he once said made her look royal. She waited. At 12:20, she called him. No answer. At 12:45, she called again. Cairo finally picked up, voice muffled. Hello. Where are you? Naya asked, trying to stay calm. We're supposed to leave. A pause. Then, oh, that. Naya's chest tightened. What do you mean, that? I can't go, he said, sounding bored. Something came up. What came up? She asked, her voice shaking. You promised. Cairo sighed loudly. Naya, why do you need explanations for everything? Because you're my partner, she said. Because I'm standing here dressed, waiting, and you're acting like I'm annoying. Don't do drama, he snapped. Just go. It's your aunt, not mine. That sentence hit her like a slap. Naya swallowed hard. Okay, she whispered. Okay. She went alone, smiled through questions, laughed at jokes that didn't reach her heart. But inside, something was breaking and she couldn't pretend not to hear it. After the event, she went straight to Cairo's place. She didn't text. She didn't call. She just showed up with a quiet determination that scared even her. When he opened the door, he looked surprised, then irritated. What are you doing here? Naya walked in without asking. We need to talk. Cairo rubbed his forehead. Not now. Now, Naya insisted, voice steady. Because I'm tired of being treated like I'm optional. Cairo laughed once, short and sharp. Optional? Naya, you're acting like I'm your whole life. Naya stared at him. You're not my whole life, Cairo. But you're supposed to be part of it. And you keep showing me you don't want to be. His face hardened. You're too emotional. No, she said. I'm finally honest. Cairo walked away, pacing like a trapped animal. What do you want from me? I want respect, Naya replied. I want consistency. I want a partner who doesn't vanish when it's convenient. Cairo turned, ice cold. Then maybe you should find someone else. Silence swallowed the room. Naya blinked slowly. Did you just say that? He shrugged. I'm saying you're making my life stressful. Naya's throat tightened. I'm making your life stressful by asking you to keep promises? Cairo didn't answer. His silence was answer enough. Naya felt the pieces of her heart scatter, like glass falling onto a hard floor. She didn't scream. She didn't beg. She simply nodded, like her body was accepting a truth her mind still didn't want. Okay, she said again, softer. Cairo watched her like he expected tears. Like he expected her to crumble and plead. For a second, she almost did. Because she loved him. Because love makes you reach for what hurts you. But Naya swallowed the tears and walked to the door. Behind her, Cairo's voice followed, lighter now. Naya, don't be like that. Come on. She paused with her hand on the doorknob. Like what? Like you're leaving for real, he said. Naya turned, eyes wet but steady. Maybe I should. Cairo scoffed. You won't. That was the moment her love turned into pain with a name. She stepped out anyway. Outside, the air felt colder than it should have. Naya walked to her car and sat behind the steering wheel, hands trembling. The streetlights blurred. Her chest hurt like something had physically punched through it. She loved him. She really did. But love shouldn't make you feel this small. When she got home, she didn't even take off her shoes. She sat on the floor, back against the couch, and finally cried, loud, messy, helpless. She cried until her throat burned, until her eyes swelled, until her body felt empty. In the early hours of the morning, her phone buzzed. Cairo, you overreacted. You always do. I can't deal with this right now. Naya stared at the message, then at the dark ceiling above her. Her fingers typed one sentence before she could stop herself. I just wanted to be loved in a way that doesn't hurt. She hit send. Cairo didn't reply. And that silence, so quiet, so final, felt like being left in pieces on purpose. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and tell us where you're watching from. Your support helps stories like this reach the hearts that need them most.